YouTube. I'm coming through with another video. We're going to get straight into this topic. And this is 7 things that you should never, ever, ever let no girl, no female, not nobody do this shit to you, because this is some toxic shit that we're about to go over. And if these red flags are showing, if the people that you have in your life, in your relationship life, are doing this to you, I highly suggest letting go of them. And if you feel there's still something there with this person, if you feel that you want to take that risk, if you want to do that, if you want to go there, I would suggest talking to them and letting them know if they keep up this behavior that they gotta go. You guys are done. Because nobody can be happy in life with having this shit done to them. I'll tell you that much. It might just be worth it to let them go. Because if you don't, something bad will happen to you if you let this stuff keep going on in the connection that you have with the relationship. It will come back to burn you because you're letting it happen. You're not putting a stop to it. And you should let nobody in this world walk all over you and disrespect you like that. And I'm going to get into the very first one right now. Number 1. You should never let anybody, you should never let no female control or manipulate you. Because we all know that women just love to have their way. They love to control people and use them for what they need them for. There's a lot of females that are just naturally narcissistic, and they're gonna do this shit because they can't handle not having their way. They need to have their way at all times. They don't play safe, they don't play fair. Nuh-uh. They're natural snakes. Not all, but honestly most. Most are. So if you feel that you're being controlled, if you feel like you have no say, it's time to go. You gotta let this person go. Because it only gets worse over time. What do you think is gonna happen when this person gets more and more and more comfortable controlling you, controlling your thoughts, emotionally draining you, emotionally abusing you? What do you think is going to happen later on? Especially when you allow this stuff to happen and you keep the relationship going. It only gets worse. It does not get better. It does not get better. It's like meeting someone in a relationship for the very first couple weeks, for the first months. Everything's good in the beginning, and then shit starts to get real. True colors start to show. It's no different. And I'm just using that as an example. It's the same thing as this. The controlling and the manipulation only gets worse over time. So if this stuff is happening, you gotta let this person go. Number 2. If this person ignores you or goes hot and cold, that's a big red flag, because somebody that truly cares about you, genuinely, somebody that's truly there, somebody that truly loves you and has your best interests at heart, is not going to ignore you. They can go a while without texting, of course they can, but they're not going to be weird in conversations. They're not going to leave you feeling confused and like, what the hell is happening right now? Because That's what happens whenever you're being controlled and manipulated. They probably forget about the conversation. They might ignore you for a while and then respond or text again something completely different, just to throw you off. And that translates to the very first one I just said, the control and manipulation. That's what that is. Because they're not on schedule. They're not on par with you. They're not connecting with you. They're just there to use you. And they'll say whatever they want to you. They're not there to have a real conversation. The conversations you have with this person, it might be real sometimes, but they can never maintain that. And they always go off track. Every time. They can't respond to you like they should, because they always go off. They want to control the tempo. And it's not like you're the one that's controlling it. It's you guys back and forth, back and forth. They have a say too. But they just get weird about the conversations you guys have sometimes. It's little shit like this that you have to pay attention for. And I don't know if all you guys understand what I'm saying. But if you play these games with women a lot in your life, if you've talked to lots of different girls in your life, you will understand what I'm saying. Because they all do the exact same thing. All these girls are pretty well the same. They all do the same shit. And honestly, it's annoying as hell. And if they go hot and cold on you, especially, they might give you the silent treatment. Everything might be perfect one day, and the next day, all of a sudden, they're cold on you. They just turn completely cold. Icy. They don't even talk to you. They just, boom, gone. And then they come back all high and mighty again. Now they're hot. Now they want to talk. Right? That's a huge red flag. That's probably one of the worst things that they can do. One of the biggest red flags. Because best believe, what's going on behind the scenes is something you would not want to know, buddy. Understand this. That's something you don't want to tolerate with. And we're going to get on to number 3. If a girl tries to compete with you in a negative way, in a toxic way, like you guys are competing with each other, that has to end. That relationship, that partnership, whatever you got going on with this person, has to end. Because you're supposed to get together to build with each other. Your wins are their wins. Their wins are your wins. It goes both ways. You're not competing with each other. And you also both have to be on the same track, because this happens when you're not on the same track. One person might be advancing a whole lot in life, and one person might be stuck or on the decline and getting worse. And that's whenever this toxic stuff comes into play, honestly. That's when this happens. There's jealousy involved, and it just never ends well. You cannot compete with each other. If you're going to compete, it should be you guys on a team against the whole world. You know what I'm saying? You against the world. That type of stuff. But even then, that doesn't even exist, because it's just all in your head. But the people you have close to you in your life, you should not be competing with. You shouldn't be competing with best friends either, or friends, or family. Nobody. That's toxic. And it just shows you're not on the same page. So, that's that. Number 4. If your girl flirts with other guys to make you jealous, on purpose, and even period. If she flirts with other guys, period, that's a red flag. That shows insecurity on her end. Because if she does this and she doesn't leave you, that just shows she's insecure. She's trying to build herself up off other guys. As in, look at me, I can get other guys. She wants to put this into your head to make you jealous. She's doing this to have even more control over you. Even though you could do the exact same thing, but you don't. But you don't. Because you're a good person with good morals and good values. And your stock is much higher than that. You don't need to be doing that shit. Because that's what insecure people do. They think they're all high and muddy doing this. But in the end, they look like the fool. They play the role of the fool. They are the bigger fool for doing this. And this shit happened to me quite a bit in my life. And they always come back every time. It always backfires on them every single time. And they look like an idiot. And the only reason they do that, like I said, is because of more control. They want that control. Number 5, never let a woman disrespect you. And that's pretty clear. If you're being disrespected, if she says smart little remarks to disrespect you, and when you go on the defense mode and you fire back, now it's all a joke. I was just joking. No, you weren't. No, you weren't. You said this for some reasons. They try to steer the pot. They try to get you emotional because they are emotional. That's something else they do. They see you cool, calm, collected. You got a lot of peace in your life. You got a lot of good things going on in your life. The tempo of your life is set. And they wish they could maintain that the way you do. They wish they could maintain happiness and peace the way you do, but they can't. They need chaos. So they will do little things like this to set you off, to make you mad on purpose. And that's a red flag because like I said, you can't expect these things to get better. They only get worse over time, especially in the beginning stage. And you keep letting this happen, you get further into it, further into the relationship, it's only going to get worse. It's only going to get worse, and that is nothing more than emotional abuse. Toxic women need to do this. Good people do not do this. They don't have the time to do this. They're focused on their own life. They have their own life. They got some good shit going on in their life. People that don't have this are the people that do this. Understand that. You had to remove them. You gotta get away from them. Move on to bigger and better things without them. Show them what they're missing. Number 6, stay away from females that want to use sex against you. Yes, against you. Some females will use their bodies, they'll use their good looks, their evil charm to reel you in. And once they get you where they want you, and they get you in the bedroom, and you guys do the do, now you're soul tied. Before you even know it, you're soul tied. Now you're connected to this girl. Because you guys just shared a sexual experience with each other. And now you can be soul tied. Now she has control over you. Not necessarily, but there's a higher chance that she can have control over you now. She will manipulate you with sex from here on out. That was good, right? That was good, right? They do this, guys. They do this. They'll start texting you afterwards. The next day, probably. They'll start seducing you and they'll get you right where they want you. Just from using sex against you. That's another evil thing that these females do. And they know exactly what they're doing the whole time. They want certain males that they can do this to. Turn them into simps. Beta male orbiters. Just abuse the hell out of guys. And I have no sympathy for these hoes that do this. None. I have no respect for females that do shit like this. And I'm going to get on to the last one. The seventh thing you should never let a female do is talk you out of success. If you're a go-getter in life, you're a winner, you're an achiever, you're a high achiever, you're a leader, do not let any female talk you out of your own success, because there are people that do this too. They don't want to see you do it big. Best and believe they don't want to see you do it big. And you got to do the things that God put in your heart to do, whether they like it or not. If they ain't with it, if they're not encouraging it, if they're not uplifting you, they got to go. You don't have any time for that bullshit in your life. They don't want to see you do good because they don't want you to get good to a point where you're going to end up leaving them, but that's never the truth. That is never the truth with this situation. They have to advance with you. They have to be on board with you. It's not your fault that these females are living in fear. That's not your fault. Because that's what most of them do. They're fearful. They're afraid. And that's why they do a lot of the shit that they do, because they want to mess you up in case something happens to them. Because they can't handle anything. They can't handle taking an L. Their fragile egos just can't take it. They do this because they're jealous. They're jealous of you. They want to be better than you. They want to be greater than you. They want to have more control and power over you. They want all the power over you. There are so many people that are together today. I don't know about any other places around the world that it's definitely going on, but like where I come from, there are so many people today that are together that should not be together. And it's just... it's like the people that are together shouldn't be together, and the people that are not together should be together. That's how this world is going right now, and it's just, it's crazy. And it's all because of fear. So many people living in fear. So many people not being the person they should be because of whatever reason. There's a lot of people not living up to the person they're supposed to be. And it's sad to see. I see it everywhere where I come from. I see it all the time, every day. And it's just, I don't even know what to say about that. And that's the end of this video. Never let a female talk you out of success. Never. If you have to leave her behind and do it by yourself, do it. Because what happens if you listen to this girl and you don't achieve the things you could have achieved, and you just settle? You settle so fast. You settle for way less than what you could have had. And on top of this, she ends up leaving you. What the hell now, right? Now you got nothing. Your success and your own life and the things you do should come before everything. Everything. It comes before all family. It comes before all friends. It comes before your relationship. It comes before everything. It is the most important thing in your life. Because all these other things have the power to leave you at any time. At any time, people can abandon you. That's why you got to be the best that you can be so you can do the things you want to do and live happy doing this. Everything else that comes is the bonus. Whatever leaves is not meant for you. If it comes, let it. If it goes, let it. And even if something comes, you got to be cautious still. Because not everything that comes is a good thing. You got to be careful of that. And I'm going to end this video right here, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this one. I'll be doing another video tomorrow. If not tomorrow, Monday. I'm out.